There she is, right there. There's her face. Isn't she pretty like a China doll? Hi, everyone. So I thought I would come online. I figure we're going to talk about this a lot on Sunday. But I want to make sure to document. See, what happens is if you don't document, if you're a remote viewer and you don't document, you're going to regret it. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and document the dream I had when I got to be the alien in Las Vegas. So, how HCRV works, heart centered remote viewing, is that we put ourselves into a hypnotic state and we try to put ourselves in the shoes of the subject through empathy and see if we can reenact the events and if we're connecting with anything real. So, take it with a grain of salt, but this is inside my mind, Whimsy. Based on how I felt as the remote viewer trying to find out about the aliens in Las Vegas. So this is from the perspective. So everything you're going to hear now is, and I'm clarifying, this is my own imagination. You can laugh about it later. So I did HCRV, I did the 5-step technique. And so what you're going to hear now is me undergoing that technique. So the first thing I felt when I was one of the aliens is I was the main pilot. I am the main pilot. I'm going to speak as if I am the alien. We'll call me Joe the alien. So I'm the pilot. I'm the pilot that was manning the ship that went down, basically. And I'm going to give you as much detail about what happened as I can. We were not coming from Alpha Centauri. We weren't coming from any place remote. It was a re-entry. We were coming back to Earth's atmosphere. We had actually left from Earth. We were on a reconnaissance operation, and we had left Earth, and it was a re-entry. Unfortunately, we were using an older ship. Quite frankly, I think that's going to be the last of that particular type of ship vehicle that we ever use. It's very similar to some of the ships that humans are just now starting to use. But basically what happened to our ship, again, this was an older ship that probably we're going to scrap and not use again. What happened was when we had our re-entry, again, we weren't coming from another planet, we're here. We had a re-entry with the ship. The northwest portion of the ship, underneath where I was seated as the pilot, the larger ship, what looked like something like a panel began to loosen, and we got an alert. So we were communicating with ground control about the fact that we were having problems with the ship, the age of the ship, etc. I'm a younger pilot. In Earth terms, I'm about 27 years old. And so this is a big responsibility for me because I have to land this thing. And I have not been in service for very long. I have a co-pilot to my right who's female. I would present as male. She's female, my co-pilot. Supposedly there's somebody in the back. I'm not looking to my back. Supposedly we travel in 3. That's one of the things I've heard. But I'm focused on me. And the fact that we have an alert that when we had re-entry, there was a panel on the northwest side under the ship that had gone loose. So we communicated with ground control, and they told us that we were to evacuate. When on re-entry, we were told to evacuate the ship. And so what we did was we got into what's known as a pod. It's a pod ship. It's a smaller ship that sits below, underneath the main ship. And so we got into the pod ship. What I will say as the pilot is, I want to go on record saying this as the pilot. It was a bad night. Everything that could go wrong has gone wrong. First off, not just because the ship was older, but everything that could go wrong went wrong. And there was a violent disruption of the ship. I thought that my co-pilot might have gotten injured prior to the re-entry, but we were ordered by ground control to evacuate the ship. And so we got into the pod. And at that point, I was in full HCRV. I looked to my right to my co-pilot to see if she was okay. And she said she was fine. She was very calm. She's fine. I mean, it's terrifying when you're in a ship that's going down. You don't have a lot of time. So we strapped ourselves in. And that is really terrifying because it's kind of similar to what you see in human ships. But they drop you down like that. So we dropped down and then we came back up when the pod came out. And as we came up, we could see our ship descending over the arc, crashing as it hit entry. And we realized at that moment when we were in the pod that we literally had seconds to evacuate into the pod. So the pod was injured on reentry as well. But we did safely land the pod in the location in Vegas. The joke is that what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas unless you're an alien. Then it doesn't stay in Vegas. So we landed the damaged pod at their home, and I have images I'll show you of some stuff, but basically we exited the pod. We were having problems with a couple of things because the pod had been damaged. Everything that could go wrong that night went wrong. So the pod was damaged. It's true, 250 miles from Vegas is where the main ship went down, that explosion everybody saw. We got out safely through the pod. So because everything was damaged, the co-pilot, she's a female scientist, energy, very, very logical, she's very rational. She's fine. She keeps saying she's fine. We got out of the pod to determine whether or not it had been damaged. She went into the tractor to try and see why the cloaking wasn't working. Part of what had been damaged on the ship was the cloaking. The cloaking stuff had been damaged. So she took the motherboard. She took the motherboard into that tractor area, and what she was trying to do...
There she is. Right there. There's her face. Isn't she pretty like a shadow?
Is she's trying to get back online because we've lost the signal. So while she's in there with the motherboard trying to get the signal, and we're trying to get to headquarters, the head pilot, he has a device which is shaped almost looks like a ham radio. It almost looks like a ham radio. And he's trying, because the equipment's been damaged, he's trying to get location and communicate with headquarters because they got to get the hell out of there. And so he was told to climb up to the roof. And so he climbed up to the roof. So the people in the house are seeing this. They're seeing aliens crying on the roof. They're freaking out. But the reason that the pilot is up on the roof is because I'm trying, hello, to get some kind of a fucking signal, right? And I got my co-pilot. I'm afraid for her. Everything is on me. Hiding, the cloaking device is not working. Nothing is working. So this is the image. I have an image, the still. This is a still that I'm putting up The still is of actually what looks like a gray. And energetically, it presents as female. And she's the one that the photograph is taken of, is the co-pilot. So then I tried to remote view her, and how I felt was I did feel calm. I hadn't been injured. It was certainly, like my superior said, the worst night of our careers. There's nothing I can do here. Yes, they see me. No, the cloaking, I am talking to headquarters. I am talking to ground control. Yes, they can hear me. Yes, they can see me. Yes, they're taking my pictures right now. Right now, they're taking my pictures because my cloaking device is not working. I'm putting up false flags. I'm putting up images of huge gargoyles, anything and everything to scare these people off. But I need some help out here, Houston, because these people have guns. I'm a fucking scientist. I'm not trained with guns. I'm not going to shoot these people. Could you get us out of here? So that is energetically the story. So you have the guy up there on the roof trying, Houston, do you see where the pod is? Can you locate? Can you ship our pod out of here? Can we get the hell out of here? So the point comes when they hide. They have this damaged cloaking equipment, and they're able to get out of there. They're able to shield, and a ground crew or rescue crew comes in and gets them out. It could be that they cloaked it. They were able, ground control is able to cloak it and basically drag the damaged shuttle out, or they were able to cloak it and get it to function enough to fly out of the area. But somehow they're able to physically get out of the area. So the takeaway energy of the testimony is that it was a bad night. Everything that could go wrong went wrong. From their perspective. Everything that could go wrong from our perspective has gone wrong. First off, because we lost a ship. Secondly, the pod malfunctioning, the fact that our cloaking device didn't work, the fact that this poor lady's hysterical. This is the pilot talking. That when I'm up on the roof, lady, I don't want to hurt you. I just want to fricking give them our coordinates. We will be out of your hair in no time. Please don't shoot us. So that is the remote. That is my response. You can call me cray. So when you look at the images of the big, giant, smoky ghouls and things, yeah, it's a giant monster. What you're looking at in the remote is you're looking at these cloaking and things that are being created by the woman. Do not look behind the screen. Do not look behind the screen. So the picture you're looking at is the woman with the is the alien with the motherboard. Anyway, yeah, so enjoy these images. Let's talk about it. Do you think it's fun and fanciful, the story I made up? Do you think that it's possible within the realm of possibility that anything in that story has anything to do with validity? Anyway, that was the remote I gave, and then this is the image that of the, if you look at it, it's not looking too good, but the female with the motherboard. All right, let's talk about it. Thank you, everyone. There she is.
Right there. There's her face. Isn't she pretty like a China doll?
There she is with the motherboard. Let's take a look. Let's bring her to life, shall we?
There's its eyes. Look at how blurry it's moving around, but you can see it in there moving around.
I think
I was
she's
concentrating
lovely.
on so many other things at first. I eventually saw something else. I'm like, oh my God, there it is. The classic gray, the chin, it turns. It's looking directly at us right now. Oh, dude, I think